again, those who remember me will remember for about the first 2 or 3 years, my mode of transport was a motorbike, again just like Heartbeat. It was a make of motorcycle called a CZ, which was a very basic East European motorcycle that the police had spent an absolute fortune on. And that was in fact, that was my introduction to motorcycling. It has a lot to answer for. I went on a motorbike course in February 1981. What a brilliant time to learn to ride a motorbike. February. The first 3 days we were riding around and getting used to riding a motorbike, because I'd never been on one in my life. And we were doing lots of theory as you do in police driving. And so on the Thursday afternoon, lunchtime, the instructor said, right, we're all ready to go now, you're all at a standard now, we're going to go out on the road. And so at about 2 o'clock on the Thursday afternoon, we left police headquarters at Stafford and we turned left towards Cannock. And as we did so, it started to snow. I had never ridden a motorbike on a road before. I am now riding on a road in falling snow. It was a very, very steep introduction to the art of motorcycling. One of the stories, though, that came out during the course was that the East European motorcycles, and those motorcyclists who may be out there will, again, I'm sure remember makes such as Jawa and CZ, which were pretty much the same. The CZ was actually a posh version of a Jawa. And they were very, very basically engineered, but they were brilliant in a way. They were cheap, they were cheerful, but they just went on. But again, without getting into the technicalities of how an engine works, I'm sure most of you know that you have some spark, you have some fuel, you have the pistons that go up and down. And it's all engineered in a way that the pistons go in a certain direction, that turns the bit that makes the wheels go. That's the principle behind it. Well, there was this folklore story that CZs occasionally would start up and the engine would run backwards. So that when you put the bike into gear, it would move backwards. Of course, nobody believed this story. I'd been here about 2 years, and I'd parked the motorbike outside the shops, outside the co-op, and I'd done whatever I was doing, and I came back to the motorbike, and I started it up, and as I started it up, it sounded different. And I thought, that sounds unusual. And this story came flooding back to me that, is this engine running backwards? It can't be. So I very carefully put it into gear, and as I did, and let the clutch out, the motorcycle started moving backwards. I thought I was imagining it, so I put it into neutral, did it again, and sure enough, I was moving backwards. And I'll never forget the look of astonishment. The lady was standing at the bus stop opposite me, watching me reversing this motorcycle. And she shouted across and said, Ben, these motorcycles nowadays are so marvellous, my husband's never had reversing.